Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 12th of July 2023. I didn't do Shrine reviews for this whole event because they changed every day and I just did not have the time, or to be honest the energy, to do one every single day for 2 weeks because I didn't play every single day, and when I'm on it I kind of want to just play and get the blood points, get the event stuff, you know what I mean? So sorry about that. I didn't really make it clear. I said maybe I would and maybe I wouldn't, but yeah, I just it was a lot, that would have been a lot to keep doing every day. And they post on Twitter every day, which, they do with every shrine. But the point is, like, I don't know, that would have just been too much. I've done it before and like I can't be consistent with it. So I waited until they're over and it went back to weekly. So that's what I'm doing today. But anyway, let's get started. First of all, we have Discordance, which is a Legion perk, and this perk has it so it highlights the auras of generators that have two or more survivors working on it. It makes a loud noise notification on that gen, and also once those people leave the gen, the aura stays for a little bit longer. So you know that they've left the gen. Basically, this perk's really good because it gives you information like all the time. Because when I use this perk, it tends to happen a lot at the start of a match because survivors tend to spawn close to generators and also to each other. So a lot of the time you use this is kind of like Lethal Pursuer, where where there's at least two people at the start of a match. That's not always, and obviously if you use a Corrupt Intervention, that doesn't happen at all. But the point is that it happens a lot, and this can happen anytime throughout the match, anytime you're walking around and doing anything. As long as you're within 120-meter range, you'll see the aura of that generator, and you'll know that there's two people there. And this is really good as well for like as you're whittling the team down. So like if there's only a few, if you've got like someone downed on the ground or there's someone hooked, someone at least is going for that unhook. And if Discordance triggers, you know where the other two people are. So it's basically just a really good way to get information throughout the match. And yeah, I think sometimes you just have to be careful that you can do something about it. I've talked about this before with like Tinkerer, is that the information is good. It's just that you have to kind of be cautious of that. If you know that generator's got a lot of progress already, or you know that like you're across the map, you kind of have to decide, am I going to walk across the map to make sure this, I get these people and I get them off the gen, or do you have to kind of sacrifice that gen and just, let those two people do that thing? It's just things like that. But other than that, this perk's pretty decent, and I don't use it a whole lot, but when I do use it, I always get value, I'd say. Next up, we have Hex Blood Favor, which is a Blight perk. This is a Hex perk, so it is tied to a totem. But once you injure a survivor, it will call upon the entity to block pallets from being pulled down within 32 meters, and that lasts for 15 seconds. So anytime you injure someone during a chase, or just injure in general, any pallets around them are going to get blocked. Basically the same way Bamboozle is with like the entities like tendril things. And it basically means they can't be pulled down. It doesn't really work for pallets that are pulled down. I think the things still appear, but they can obviously still vault over it. It's just for pallets that are standing up. And this persists as long as the hex is standing, so once it gets rid of that, it does get rid of the blocking. If that makes sense. You get what I mean. Yeah, this perk is decent as well. I've used this a lot more on like M1 killers, because I feel like they need that extra like help because they don't really, don't have much else going for them. Like Doctor, I use this on Doctor for ages because I feel like he really needs it, especially with like how his shocks work. But you can use this on like any killer pretty much, and it's good because it kind of throws them off guard. It forces them to go to a different loop. So that means they have to just keep holding W to run away, and that means you can catch up. But also it means if they do decide to stay at that loop, they have to play a bit more safe and they have to try and improvise a bit more because they have, 15 seconds where they can't use their defense, basically. And I feel like this is also really works well with Save the Best for Last, which is also what I commonly use it with, because you can hit them, get the pallet blocked with Blood Favor, and then you can catch up immediately from Save the Best for Last and use it with, and be able to use that to catch up again. So I feel like it's kind of slept on. I feel like people don't use this a whole lot. I do see this quite often, to be fair, but I feel like people should use it more because I feel like even if you don't use this with even if you don't use this with Save the Best for Last, that you'll still get value from it. And I still think it's like a fun perk. It is a bit annoying that it's a hex perk because unfortunately, when you try and have fun with hex perks, there's always the risk that it'll get destroyed literally at the start of the match. But maybe bring Undying, it is a blight perk, so blight also has undying. But you know, if you want to just use it by itself, you can. It's definitely an option, but just keep in mind the risks, basically. Next up, we have Leader, which is a Dwight perk. This one has so it increases other survivors' action, basically any action they do, pretty much anything you can think of, they do. They do 25% faster when they are within 8 meters of you, and it persists for 15 seconds once they leave that 8 meters. It's basically how Streetwise works. It's actually exactly how Streetwise works with like the range and everything like that. However, it doesn't stack with other leader effects, so it can't go up to 50% if there's like more people using leader. It only just the 125%. And also, the thing with this is that it doesn't apply for you. It only does it for other teammates, which is really nice for those teammates. But you know, Streetwise also applies to you, but leader does not. So keep that in mind. It is like one of those teammate perks where, you know, it's not really helping you a whole lot. It's just helping your team, which again is nice. You know, like if you're on a gen with someone, they're doing it 25% faster, plus the bonus from multiple people anyway. But I just feel like it's kind of niche. You know, like the effects, like it's basically everything. You know, healing, unhooking, cleansing, chest opening. I don't think it's gens actually. I'm pretty sure it's not gens. I don't think it actually. No, it's not listed here. But it's basically anything else, not gens. So it's actually yeah. Take back what I said, but very much anything else, you know. And again, I feel like that's nice for those teammates, but it doesn't apply to you. 25% is quite nice, I guess, but I'm not sure. Like, I feel like it's nice when like you're on the receiving end of that, but I don't really see people using this perk. I don't really use it myself personally. I kind of get like the point of it is that like, you know, you're helping everyone else and you're kind of doing your own thing. It's just if they come by you. Well, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like meh. You know, I don't think it's like anything special, you know, anything crazy, but you know, I don't think it's also like terrible either. And finally, we have Stakeout, which is a tap perk, and this one has so you gain tokens when you are hiding in the killer's terror radius. For each 15 seconds, you get 1 token, and then those tokens get taken up when you are like repairing or healing. And if you hit a good skill check, it will turn it into a great skill check, and you'll get the extra progress basically. And I feel like I like this perk. I think this is a fun perk because it's easy to get stacks of. You know, like if you use a perk like Diversion or Distortion, you have to be in the killer's terrace for a bit longer to get tokens and to get the actual effect. But with this one, I think Distortion is also 15 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Distortion also is 15 seconds for each token. I'm not sure though, but it's easy to get tokens because sometimes you'll be doing gens and like if the killer's chasing someone nearby, you'll just be getting passive tokens anyway from just doing the gen. And I feel like it's quite nice because, you know, even if you can hit great skill checks, that's good because it saves those tokens when you hit good skill checks. And you know, it's really good if like there's a gen that's really close by and there's a lot of pressure on you, like you need to get that gen done now. It's really helpful for that. And also, again, for healing, it applies. You know, if you really need to get a quick heal before doing something else, you can. But, yeah, I feel like if you can hit great skill checks already, also skill checks themselves aren't that difficult. So I feel like, in that sense, it's kind of like decent. You know, like it's pretty nice, but it's probably not that necessary. And again, it is easy to get tokens, but you know, you get up to 4. By the way, I didn't mention that, but you get up to 4 tokens at tier 3, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, I don't think it's just anything like crazy special, you know. I feel like it's slightly faster. You know, the great skill checks don't do a whole lot. Like I said, if it's like you need to get something done, like if it's almost already done anyway, mainly with gens, it's good for that. But I feel like, yeah, other than that, like the progress isn't that much because it's only a great skill check. And granted, again, you get 4, so you get at least 4 great skill checks, I guess. But I don't know. I just feel like, again, it's just a bit meh. You know, it's just like it's okay. It's not anything crazy, but you know, it's like fun, I guess. So I would say Blood Favor's actually the best one here, to be honest. I think Discordance is pretty close, but I feel like that's one of those perks that like it's information, but it's not like actively helping, if that makes sense. Like it is because it's giving you information, but it's the same with Tinker where like it's not really doing anything about the fact that there's like multiple people on a gen. It's not doing it, so it's like, oh, when there's 2 or more survivors on a gen, generated progress is slowed by 10% or something, or like the gen takes the extra, you know, 10% to make. I don't know, but like, you know, it's basically all it's saying is, hey, there's loads of people on this gen and it's gonna get done soon. what can you do about it, pretty much. You know what I mean? That's what I said about when Tinker was on a couple of weeks ago. I kind of said the same thing of like, it's great that it tells you that that generator is almost done, but like, what now? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to do something about it, or are you going to let it go? Like, it doesn't help you stop that gen as much. You have to kind of do that yourself. It's just kind of more alerting you. But Blood Favor is a lot more active, and it's a lot more easier to, because it's literally just M1 attacks. You know, it's just a basic attack. So, um, yeah, it's fun and it's helpful, and you can combine it with other perks, like I said. But I think mostly, you know, blocking pallets kind of throws them off if they're not used to, you know, what they're doing, and if it's a certain loop, they can't really do anything about it, and you'll get it down. So. Yeah, that's what I'd say. The survivor perks are just, you know, you can skip those. I wouldn't really bother with them personally, but it's up to you. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.